will you sort out the issue of recruitment of vaccinators? There's huge problems there. We're all getting complaints about it. The application form is a 14-page form. There's no phone number available for people to ring to clarify any points. People are complaining about their details having been lost. They're also complaining that they're being asked repeatedly the same questions and for the same information. So it's hard to see why on earth there's these glitches in the recruitment process. But will you sort them out? We can't afford any more kind of problems in this area. Minister, you undertook to provide a daily briefing to members of this House. We got one yesterday. It was the first one we got in 8 days. What's the reason for this? Why have you not been able to live up to that commitment that you gave to provide a daily briefing? Secondly, I want to ask you about the whole question of the delivery of the vaccines to this country. I've asked you repeatedly to provide that data on a daily basis. You know, it's vaccines in and vaccines out. We should have that information per day. You won't do that. You've said, you know, on a weekly basis you'll provide it. That hasn't been provided on the data hub yet. So when are you going to do that? And will you reconsider the whole question of providing it on a daily basis so that there's absolute transparency about this? On the question of the target for March, the Taoiseach had said the target for the number of vaccines administered by the end of March would be 1.25 million. That was then revised by Paul Reid. He said 1.1 million. I can't see any way that that target can be reached. In the first 3 weeks of the month of March, there were 680,000 vaccines provided. There's a huge gap to make up there if we're to reach that target. So is there now a revised target for the month of March for vaccines administered? My next question relates to the need for a revised forecast for Q2 and Q3. The only figures we have are the figures that were in that document, The Path Ahead, which is very much outdated at this stage. So can you provide revised supply forecast for Q2 and Q3? And my other question then is in relation to over 70s. It was announced that over 75s were going to be started this week, and people were delighted about that. And I've come across a couple of instances where the day before, by chance, people in the 75, 76, 77 age category discovered by chance that there was only enough vaccine delivered to their GP for 78 and 79-year-olds to be vaccinated. So look, will you be clearer about the messaging you're giving? Because you're raising people's hopes and then they're dashed a few days later. So can you clarify that? Why did you say over 75s? And, you know, you need to be much more careful about that. So can you answer those questions, please?
Thank you, Deputy, for the various questions. So on the recruitment of vaccinators, absolutely I will look into it. So a lot of progress has been made. In excess of 10,000 vaccinators have been recruited. It's a lot of people, but rest assured, if there is duplication, if there is too much complexity, I'll take it up with the HSE immediately, because that process has to be as easy and as seamless as possible, while obviously being safe, secure and so forth. With regard to the daily briefings, I did undertake that, and that should be happening, and I will talk to the team immediately about that. It's very important to me that there's as much information out there as possible. Well, I'll take that up with the team straight away, Deputy, because you should be getting, I directed that there should be daily Oireachtas briefings coming, and you should be getting those. With regard to daily information on vaccines, so there is daily information. I know you're talking about both supply and doses administered. What we have so far every day, both online on the data hub and then on the tracker app, is first and second doses updated every day. And I know you're... Yeah, no, I appreciate you're looking for deliveries as well. It's something I will certainly take up. I think what is most important to the Irish people, though, is knowing just how many are being taken. But I take your point, and we've discussed it here previously. With regard to and apologies if I run out of time, I'll revert to you. With regard to the end of March, Can we just be clear that our target is to get the vaccines out as soon as they come in, and that target is being met on an ongoing basis. But you're absolutely right. So the initial projection was that we would have slightly in excess of 1.2 million vaccines in. Right now, what we can say is we expect in excess of 1.1 million vaccines to be delivered.
Thank you, Minister.
However, can I add a quick caveat or not?
No, we're going to run out of time. Thank you, Minister. You might have a chance at the end. There's a chance at the end to come back.
Okay.
Deputy.